So during the pandemic, one of the things that has brought us all together has been the webcam, and I've done a few reviews on them. There's been nothing really for webcam in years that makes them different. They're all pretty much the same, better resolution and all that stuff. But today I'm going to be doing an unboxing, an overview, and then some installation and product use of Anker's new Ankerwork B600 video bar. A webcam, but it's a lot more than just a webcam. So let's jump into it real quick. Let's do the unboxing and then I'll show you guys just how good or bad it is. It's still in the packaging. I really don't know. So let's get started. All right, so here she is again, the Ankerwork B600 video bar. Let me go ahead and remove all this so you can actually see it. All right, so here she is again. Looks a little bit awkward. Magic sight, voice radar, AI powered, 95-degree field of view, 4 microphones, maybe, and then B600 video bar, all-in-one personal conferencing solution. All right, so looks cool so far. All right, and the sides, work your way, Anker, nothing pretty much along the bottom. The top, just where you hold it on the shelf. And then in the back, it kind of gives you a description. 2K camera, 4 mic array, low distortion speakers, built-in light. Cool. Then more information here. We've all heard and seen all that stuff before. So let me figure out how to open this. Okay. Anker, work your way. I kind of like the box, just a plain gray box. And it's sturdy. Foam up here. Sturdy box, something that you would, or I would definitely keep tucked away. Now this is the webcam. All right, so there's nothing next to it for comparison. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, there is. This is the Logitech BRIO. Look at that. This is 2 Logitech BRIOs wide and maybe as tall, almost as tall. This is tremendous. So along the side or along the entire body of the camera, we have this little felt material here, which is pretty nice. Little mute mic right over here button. Then on the other side we have, looks like for dimming and raising the lighting. And then this is to put it on your monitor. I kind of feel, even though this is not heavy at all actually, but maybe 2 pounds, maybe not even. Because of the size, it kind of feels like your monitor is going to tip over, but it's not that heavy. So then here they have the rubber backing. This would go on the back of your monitor. This would clip onto the front of your monitor and then kind of just hold it like that. USB Type-C and power back here. Then USB Type-A. This is either USB 2.0 or 3.0. It's black, so it kind of leads me to believe it's 2.0, but I don't know just yet. Ankerwork's B600 video bar. And this would turn on the camera, I assume, but this is cool because you don't need to put a piece of tape or a cover over here. Just when you're done, close it. It looks nice. Open it up. This looks to be like a light. For a webcam to have a light, that's pretty epic. Then there looks to be like a capacitive slider here for brightness. And then it says on it 2K HD image, 95% or 95-degree adjustable FOV. If you can see that right there. Okay, so this is really, really nice looking. All right, so bringing this over here, download the Ankerwork software, and this just comes apart. And here we have, what do you think of our work? Little questionnaire. The quick start guide, which we'll go over all of this in the video. And then Anker, important safety information, just important safety information in a bunch of different languages. Different power outlets. That's kind of cool, but kind of wasteful, I guess, because, you know, depending where you are in the world, the other two will be worthless. So just kind of cool. Maybe they should have it wherever you buy it, that's where you get it, but that on its own can have its own issues. I'd be using this guy. I'm in the US. And then the power plug, you can see that right over here. 2 amps, 10 watts. And then I'll be able to see a little bit better on the camera itself, of course. But yeah. All right, and then, so for example, I just pop it in right here and then turn it in place. So you'd either turn it left or right, but it clicks in place. And then this would connect to the USB-C on the back that said power right back here. Just click. So it needs power not just from the USB port on your machine. So it does need separate power, but that could be for a few things, not for everything. And let's just make sure. Now they have the USB-C cable. This is 3 feet long. And let's see, anything else here? And let's just make sure nothing else hidden. Nope, so nothing else hidden. So let's bring it over to the PC real quick. All right, so the way I'm doing this is I have my screen being recorded, which I may have to play with as I'm doing the recording because the mic will change. I have my Rode mic here connected to you, which I'll be changing that on the back end when I'm recording from here and vice versa, so that you guys can know how good or bad this records. So I've already downloaded the software from this, and well, I'll do it again, from the little paper that it came with. So I have the 5-foot cable, which I never told you, and the install cable right up here plugged into the power port, which I'll find out in a minute if that's required, because we all don't want 2 cables. I'd prefer 1 cable. So I'm going to connect this Type-C cable into the Type-C port back here, and then I'm going to connect power right over here. So one quick sec. All right, so now everything is connected. Now I'm just going to go ahead, open up the software. Okay, read the terms. Of course, I read them all. I'm really quick. So let me go ahead, open this up. We can see there is the little light right up here, and there is a firmware upgrade. So I'll go ahead and click upgrade, and let me enter in all this information one sec. Okay, so after we've signed in, it's got the big, or the blue bar right up here, and we'll go ahead and do the firmware update. All right, so update successful, got it. Pardon the mess, you usually don't see behind me. So, okay, I gotta look at that. All right, so this is the Ankerworks software. I am currently recording from my microphone on my big camera. You can see right there. So let's go ahead and look around on the software. So clicking over here, we have the device I'm recording, or actually I'm just playing at 2K, 65 degree, 78 degree, 95 degree. You can see my entire mess back there. And then we can self-frame, which is pretty cool because right now you're looking at me here, but then if I want to move over here or over here, okay, and then we can see from this camera that that is not moving the entire time. It hasn't moved, so it's going ahead and just panning out and in, as we saw with these angle and frames over here. So then we'll turn on the anti-flicker. Since I am in the United States, we'd pick 60, we'd pick NTSC. If you're in PAL, you'll choose 50 Hertz. Scrolling down a little bit, we can see the serial number, the firmware, and so we've already done all that. Then coming over here, we can change the image setting, the brightness. Ooh, way too bright. And sharpness. Fuzzy's better. Saturation. Contrast ratio. And I do have all my lights and everything, so I could flip it as well. And then I could reset it if I had everything just a weird, wacky way. You know, I could just put everything right back to the way it was. Is that flipped? Okay, so it doesn't reset the flip, but that'll be on the next update. Then the lighting. Oh, wow, cool. Okay, so on the camera, we can see the light bar up here, and then turn it on, off, and turn it on. So now what I'm going to do is I have all my lighting right over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is come over here, and I'm going to turn everything off. Okay, so I've just turned off the lighting on my phone for all these lights. We can still see the Anker light on, and I'll go ahead, turn it off. So you don't see much of a difference right now. All the way on the lightest side if I put it up to bright. Okay, so you noticed some difference there. I just remembered I do have one more light. One sec. My overhead light. Okay, so everything is turned off now. Now you can tell the difference. And mind you, if it was completely dark outside, you'd be able to completely tell. Let me see if I can do that real quick. One sec. So while I do have curtains that black that out, unfortunately the light over here is still bright. The other lights are off. Now I turn the Anker on, so you can tell that there's a difference. Then I can change. Wow, cool. I can change the color temperature, always on, automatic light adjustment. So it feels like right now I have too much light, so the automatic light turned off. If I turn off the automatic light, it'll turn it back on, because now it's because I'm turning it on and off. So that is a kind of cool feature. I've never ever seen that in a webcam before. And while I am recording the screen, so if I don't want to use the webcam, it's off. It actually turns off the webcam as well. So that's kind of cool. You could see from my webcam just how dark my room is, except for that light back there that's coming from outside. It's incredibly dark, isn't it? So coming back to the webcam over here, it turns on, and look at just how bright compared to how that camera was. It is amazing. So what I'm going to do right now, I am recording off of my screen. So what I'm going to do is I want to record, if it'll let me. So let's go to device switch, which I don't have another Anker. Okay, so I just turn that back on. And then messages, we don't have any messages. And help, settings, we have language, which English, Japanese, German, Chinese, Korean. Restore factory settings, privacy policy, terms of use, software version, media location, copyright information, and then my stuff. And then, so we'll close that out. So, and we can go full screen if you want to see me in full screen. I don't want to see me in full screen. So over here, I think, oh yeah. So we could raise the brightness of the light with the little slider. So I think you guys could see, yeah. So you can't see it in perfect detail, but you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So over here, we could turn off the microphone, so you can see it's red up here, and then turning it on. It's capacitive, so I don't need to actually push it. And then there I could turn the lighting off. Yeah. So rather than doing a slider, I can just click, turn it on, turn it off. Or if I want to use a slider, that works as well. So coming out of full screen, you just hit escape. So now what I want to do is I want to test how good the microphone is on here. So 1 second while I switch that microphone. All right, so now I'm coming from the Anker. This is still recording, but I'm not using that audio. I'm recording with the camera's audio. So right now, if I tapped the capacitive button to turn off the microphone, you can't hear me at all. Turning it back on, that should have turned it back on so that you can hear me. And so I think that's pretty cool. There is no way, it seems, at least from the software, that I can just record to send it out if I wanted to. Mind you, I can do a screen capture thing like I'm doing right now. But if I wanted to drop resolution, which turns off the lighting to 360p, which is not bad actually. 720p. A little bit clearer. You can see with the detail on the stuff over here. Then 1080p. It still looks great. And then 2K right over here. That looks nice. So one thing I am curious on. So I do have my Logitech also connected, and I don't know if they're going to fight now. So my Logitech just turned on. I'm curious to see differences between the two. So this was a 78, like this can go to. Then you can see the differences between the two. They both look nice. This looks darker, but maybe more detailed than this one does, though this, I believe, is at 4K right now. There we go. Okay, so now this is at 4K, and it looks really dark compared to the Anker. And the Anker, right now, the light is off. So the quality there, the Anker looks really nice. Let me see if there is... And so to mention, the BRIO, the Logitech BRIO, only does 30 frames per second, whereas the Anker will do 30 frames per second as well. If I were to drop the Anker down, or the BRIO, actually the BRIO has, yeah, it doesn't do 2K, but it does do 1080p at 60 frames per second. .1080p here as well. So the Logitech, while it is good and can do 4K, the 4K is not as bright. So, you know, I need to maybe turn on my selfie light, ring light back there, and still it's not that bright. That's as bright as that selfie light gets, and my camera back there is catching it, so it's not a sleight of hand or anything. There is a selfie light back there, which is very dirty. I never use it. Yep, and then I could turn on the light if I wanted to, and that helps the BRIO a little bit. So now the BRIO does have a self-recording feature, which I kind of like, but I don't know if you're going to be recording yourself on your webcam and then sending that out. You'll probably use another piece of software that has its own sending out feature. So I'm not sure which one to look at now. Yeah, so this is a weird camera, and I'm trying to figure it out completely, but it has two USB-Cs and then a USB-A. One of the USB-Cs is for power, and then the other is to connect to your computer. But the problem is I haven't needed the power. I used it initially, but I don't need it. Right now, running off of the laptop from USB-C to USB-A. It only brings a C to C cable, but I'm using C to A, one of my other cables, and I'm not getting, or correct me if I'm wrong, are you seeing any stuttering or any... All right,
No,
cool.
looks great. Audio. There we go. We're back.
So you're on the oh no, you're back on the Anker. So
Yep.
I'm not sure what happened. It could have been because I was playing with all the buttons, but all I did was disconnect USB-A and plug it back in, and it worked. I am going to ask them about that power. You know, the light was working, everything was working. It's got a bunch of cool features that you'll see in the video.
Okay, so this is us side by side. The only difference though is I'm on a $2,000 webcam, not DSLR. That's why I'm on my
Okay.
DSLR through CamLink and a $600 lens. So yeah, it's very different. But the quality on there is good. I think obviously you can tune things up, but I love the idea of it having a light on it, a built-in light, and that
Yeah, I've never
slider is
seen that
awesome.
before.
Yeah, that's brand new. And I have the Ankerwork PowerComp C300. It doesn't
Okay.
have a light, and the quality I think was a little bit lower even than what you're showing. So what you're showing, they've definitely upped their game. That's the first, I think, professional with a light built in one. That's pretty cool.
So Anker did have a webcam before.
There is one. Let me grab it. Hold on one sec. I got it
Okay.
right here. But this is the first C300. Let's see if it'll focus up.
Okay.
PowerComp C300. It has a sticky on privacy shutter, which was kind of an afterthought.
Yeah.
It does have a zoom, but it's really just digital zoom. And this is only 1080p 60. And,
Okay.
but it definitely, they're improving. You can see that they're iterating and making a better one. Yours is definitely more of a professional, camera. You don't have to have extra lighting and stuff like that. If you've got that built-in light, that's awesome. Another thing you might want to try is try it with all of your room lights out and your Elgato key, your ring light or rim light turned off. If you turn all of them off, just leave your window light on. Well, yeah, because of the window. Yeah.
There's the window, but then I have the Anker light on all the way. Let me turn it off. Okay, now it's off.
Off, yep.
Now if I'm going to slide it. Now it's max.
Yeah. And even that is a good enough fill light if you didn't have. It's funny. My camera sometimes focuses on my logo. It does
That's pretty cool.
Detection.
Yeah, I love your studio. I love my studio, but I don't have all the angles with my background, and I still need a logo like you. So it is kind of cool. Now, one thing I don't like, and the Logitech doesn't have this, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of the Logitech to make it less confusing. 1 sec. Okay, so now I disconnected the power cable. Everything still looks fine to me. Now I wonder, you don't want to get that close to me. I wonder, let's go back to 2K. Can we do 2K without power? Taking off the power, actually the light bar still works. So I need to find out what that power light does, but maybe it gets things, you know what? It looks a little bit brighter. No, yeah, you know what? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe if you're running off of USB 2.0 and it requires 3.0, or you don't have USB-C, but then you don't have the cable. But anyway, I really like the Ankerwork light bar, or mic camera bar. Can't even say it straight. I'm pretty amazed by it. So, I'm using already their USB hub. I use one at home, one at work. It's pretty awesome. And I've always known them to be a USB hub, USB power bank kind of thing. And now they're starting up the Ankerwork, and it has a whole bunch of features. I like it a lot. The only thing is it doesn't do 4K like the BRIO does. But really, are you going to be using 4K all the time? I like the angular frames. That is pretty cool. The Logitech BRIO does that as well. The image sharpening, the light bar I have not seen in any other webcam, so I am incredibly impressed by that. The size is pretty awesome. The 2 buttons on the side, that makes it kind of cool too. The fact that it has its own cover, which not only turns off the camera, but hides everything so you don't hear it anymore. Sorry, I had to turn all my lights back on. I got used to the BRIO, and even though I didn't need it, the selfie light. So the Anker does some awesome stuff. I like it a lot. The price point is a little bit higher, but BRIO was this price point or maybe a little bit higher before. So that tells me that the price is going to drop. Anker has done some pretty awesome stuff on the USB charger front. I'm really impressed by what they've done before, and the camera is an extension of that, moved over to their home office side, and I just turned off all my lights. So I really like the camera. The fact that you could turn it on, turn it off, even on the sides, flip it, close it so that you have the privacy when you don't want people looking at you. I think that's pretty awesome. You can adjust the lighting as well, then make it cooler, make it warmer as well. Flip it if you wanted to. So there are a lot of cool things, and as you saw, right when I started using it, there was a firmware update. Unfortunately, I missed launch by 20 days or so. The camera got here last week. I wasn't able to record it last week, but by last week, I was already about 7 days late. But for some reason, it takes a little while for things to get here, and I don't live in a crazy part of the country. The other part I love that just reminded me as I was moving the camera is the fact that you can have the camera also follow you any way you want, or maybe not completely anyway, but you can have it follow you. Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool feature. Or as you're walking around the room, it kind of stays, and mind you, you're going to have a field of view that it's going to follow you because the actual camera itself isn't moving, but it's framing you so that it has that extra space to move around in. And then, it is capacitive also. But not only can you turn off and on the light, but you can dim it and raise it. Think a bunch of cool little toys on this camera. So webcams helped, especially during the hardcore part of the pandemic. Not that we're out of it by any means, but when we couldn't leave our homes, this helped in, for example, with my son and Boy Scouts, helping keep the Boy Scouts together. They could still do projects and they can still, talk with other boys. And then us, the parents, we can also chat as well, all on webcam. The webcam, we do it during our day jobs. We do it during our night jobs. The webcam has become a pretty integral part of our life. Mind you, as we're loosening restrictions on everything, we're maybe pulling away more from home and we can talk to people more freely. But if we ever come back in that situation, or if we have family that lives on the other side of the country or the world, we can still talk to them on webcam. So let me know down in the comments below what you think about the new Anker's new brand, Ankerworks, and what you think about the new camera. I think it's pretty awesome. I kind of like it. It's kind of funny how tremendous it is, but it's got so many cool features. It's not a bad thing. I'm going to go ahead and find out what that extra power is, and I'll get back to you on that in the comments down below. Or if there's any other special reason that I need to record why that power is there, I'll let you know. That concerned me. I didn't like it because it was there, but now that it's there and we don't really kind of need it, it seems that is kind of cool. But anyway, let me know down in the comments what you think about the camera, the pricing. I have an Amazon affiliate link down below as well. And if you think this is something you get, how many Anker devices do you have? By the way, I've talked a lot about Anker in this video. This is not endorsed, sponsored, or anything by Anker whatsoever, other than the fact that they sent me that webcam. I bought that USB charger here and at work. I love it. It powers all my devices. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling on. This is Iggy with ThisBytesForYou, showing you the Ankerworks B600 video bar. Tremendous video bar. Iggy with ThisBytesForYou out. See you guys.